Thank you for watching the Westwood High School 9th grade course registration. First, just real quickly, everybody at Westwood takes 8 courses. You're always going to take your English, Math, Science, and Social Studies. Those are required. You've been doing that since 1st grade, so that shouldn't be anything new. Most students are also going to take a language other than English, so Spanish, German, French, American Sign Language, Chinese. So if you're taking 8 classes, most of you are going to take your 4 core and a language other than English. So that's going to make it 5 of your 8 classes. We're going to pre-select, and then you'll have 3 electives. That's going to be the majority. So the next thing I want to show you is the electronic version of your choice sheet. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to the Westwood Freshman Choice Sheet. Any class that you click on, so let's say, for example, in English, you can click on English 1 or Advanced English 1. They're going to give you a course description sheet written by our teachers that tells you how the class is taught, the structure, grading, what you can expect homework-wise, and everything. So this is going to be so valuable because it's going to cover every single class that's available to your freshman student. The other thing I just want to cover quickly is Orange and White days. Westwood, we only teach 4 classes a day. So on Orange Day, you'll go class periods 1 through 4. Tuesday, you'll go 5 through 8, and then it rotates every other day. This is key so you know you're really only taking 4 classes a day. So let's talk about this choice sheet. So it's sitting in front of you. Please go ahead and write your name, ID number, and then circle the school. Please make sure you write your legal name, and then you can put the name you go by in parentheses. And that way we know we can find you for sure in the computer system. When you're filling out your choice sheet, there's a good chance you're going to be changing your mind over the next few weeks as we go through all our different registration programs, and you talk to your parents, you talk to your teachers, you talk to Westwood teachers at parent night. So all we ask is that you put a little pencil dot to the left of a course because this is easy to erase and change. If you mark in the little squares, highlight, circle, this is going to be a mess, and then your high school counselor might not be able to tell exactly what you're wanting. Okay, let's go through the required courses first. So let's first start with English. Everybody's going to take this. You're going to take it all 4 years you're in high school. So your first option is English 1. This is our regular English class. It's going to have the least amount of homework. You're going to write papers. You're going to read novels. You're going to do most of the reading in the classroom, so less outside of the class period. Advanced English 1 is going to push you to become a much better writer. This is really going to push you. So if you enjoy English, this is a good class. You will be a better writer at the end of this. You will read novels just like English 1, except you're probably going to do a little bit more of that reading at home. If you are in 8th grade tag English, you can also choose our English 1 Advanced Tag. This is our only tag class that is taught separately from the regular advanced option. This one's going to be similar workload as the Advanced English 1. It's just going to have a little more room for creativity when it comes to projects and assignments. The last option is English 1 ESOL. This is if you are learning English as your second language. You're probably sitting in an ESL class right now at your middle school. Everybody go ahead and put a dot next to the English class that sounds the best to you. Next, we have 3 social studies. We've got regular world geography. This one's going to be our one with the least amount of homework. I want you to think back to 6th grade world cultures. Turn that up a notch. That's going to be world geography. You're going to learn about the different areas of the world, the physical geography, and then the cultural piece around each one. If you're wanting to go the advanced option, we have what's called AP Human Geography or the TAG option. The only people who can pick the TAG option is if you have 8th grade TAG social studies. But I want you to know AP Human Geography and TAG AP Human Geography are taught in the same class by the same teacher at the same time, and no one will know who is TAG and who is not. There is not a difference. I want to stress that. This is definitely going to have more work because it's preparing you to take an AP test at the end of the school year. What AP means is at the end of the year, if you pass this AP test, you have the potential to earn college credit. So for when you get to college, you will already have that credit done and over with. So that's exciting. There is more rigor. There is more work involved because it is a college level course. So everybody go ahead and put a dot next to the social studies you would like to take next year. I will say if you're planning on maybe trying the IB program, you need to make sure you're checking the AP Human Geography option. That is the one the IB program requires. Next, we're going to talk about math. So math depends on the math you're in. If you're sitting in 8th grade math this year, you're going to be taking Algebra 1 or Algebra 1 double blocked. Algebra 1 just takes up one class period, and you'll go to math every other day. If you're in Math 8 and maybe have not passed a STAR test while you're in middle school, or math just continues to be a struggle, a lot of that might be because of COVID and some math gaps, I would recommend taking our Algebra 1 double block. This class, you will have math every day. One day you'll have Algebra 1. The other day, we're going to work on getting you caught up and filling in any math gaps you might have. That does take up 2 class periods because it meets every day. If this year in 8th grade, you're sitting in Algebra 1, you're going to be taking geometry next year. We have geometry, advanced geometry, and advanced geometry tag. Regular geometry is going to be our one with the least amount of homework. I would expect every day to come in, go over your homework, take notes, and maybe start your homework if you have time. Advanced is going to go at a faster pace. There's probably going to be more quizzes involved, and it's a little bit more you need to take on some of that ownership of the learning because it is going at a faster pace. The tag option, you have to have tag math in order to pick the tag number, but our geometry advanced and advanced tag are the same class taught in the same classroom at the same time. Nobody will know the difference. If you're sitting in geometry as an 8th grader, you're going to take Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 Advanced or Advanced Tag. Again, Advanced and Tag, same class, same teacher, same time. There's no difference. The difference is going to be between Algebra 2, our grade level 1, which again is taught like traditional math, versus our Algebra 2 Advanced. This is where we're going to go a little bit more faster paced. It's going to go through more material. It's really going to challenge you, but if you like math, you'll enjoy it. If you're sitting in Algebra 2 as an 8th grader, you're going to be taking our AP Pre-Cal or AP Pre-Cal Tag if you have Tag Math Services. Again, these classes are taught at the same time, same teacher, no difference. So everybody go ahead and pick your math. Science. Everybody's taking biology next year. We've got grade level biology, which, you've already been learning a little bit about biology all through middle school in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. This one's going to have the least amount of homework. Or we've got our advanced option or the tag, which again, these 2 classes are taught in the same class period at the same time, same teacher, so there's no difference between advanced and tag. The only people who can pick tag who are people who have 8th grade tag services already in science. This is definitely, there's more labs because you do have more homework because you are spending more of your class period doing more labs regularly. So something to think about when deciding which science you want to take. Everybody go ahead and pick your science now. Languages other than English. So every student must earn 2 credits of the same language. So if you sat in French 1A and French 1B this in middle school, you're going to be taking French 2 next year or French 2 Advanced. When students ask, well, what's the difference between a level 2 and a level 2 advanced when it comes to a language, is the amount of English spoken. The advanced classes will have very little English spoken in those classes, so something to think about. If you're at a school that had level 2 option offered, so let's say, for example, in 6th grade, you sat in French 1A, in 7th grade, you sit in French 1B, and now as an 8th grader, you're currently sitting in French 2. Technically, as long as you pass, you will have met your language requirement. But here's the thing. A lot of colleges want to see at least 3 years of a foreign language. When I say 3 years, I mean 3 credits. So they really want you to go through level 3. Here's the thing, and when I try to tell families, should you take a year 3 or not? If you're sitting in a level 2 language and it is such a struggle and it's stressing you out so much, then I maybe wouldn't recommend it. But if you're getting through it and if you just put in some work, you can get through level 3, I would recommend it because here's the thing. As an 8th grader, you don't know what colleges you're going to be applying to. But a decision you make in 8th grade could keep you from applying to some colleges that you decide you want to apply to in 12th grade. So I think it's better just to be safe than sorry and take a 3rd year and do the level 3. So that's why I say most students will be taking a language next year. Everybody should, in my mind, continue either to level 2 or to level 3. Here's the thing. If you're in a language right now and you're like, you're looking at this list and you're like, oh, I've been wanting to take that language but I was already committed. You can switch your languages next year. You will need to take 2 years of that language. So let's say right now, if you're in Spanish 1, you can switch to American Sign Language next year if you want, or you could switch to French 1 next year or German 1 next year. That's completely fine. The other thing I want to bring up is if you're a native speaker. And I don't mean just native speaker, but you can read, write, and comprehend in another language. So maybe it was your first language or the language spoken at home. You are more than welcome to skip to a level 2 of that language. So for example, let's say in your home you speak Spanish. Well, instead of going to Spanish 1 next year, you could go straight to Spanish 2 or Spanish 2 Advanced. And that's the same for any language, so something to think about. So everybody go ahead and pick the language that you would like to take next year. Okay, now we're going to talk about the other courses. So we've talked about, of your 8 classes, we either have picked 4 or 5 of your required courses. Now the other ones are up to you. You can choose what any of these courses I'm going to cover, and I'm going to go fast, but listen and put a dot next to anything that sounds good. And then over the next few weeks, you'll be able to narrow it down to the 3 that you really want. So sit tight and we're going to go through them. And remember, you can pick any ones you want. You don't have to pick one from each section. You can pick whichever 3 you want. Okay, so for example, Pathways, College and Career. This is a fancy name for a study hall class. If you are worried about the transition from middle school to high school, maybe you're really anxious about the increased homework load, this Pathways course, most of the class, you will be able to pull out your homework for your other classes and work on it in there. So this is a really good way to build homework time into your school day. The rest of the class, you're going to be working on really good life skills like building a resume, doing some college research, but the majority will be a homework block for you. Business Information Management, BIM. Some of you might have already taken this here at the middle schools. You may not retake it. Business Information is a computer class. You're going to work on the Microsoft suite. So Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, programs that are really valuable in your classes. You can take and learn and become an expert on them. Next are all our PE and athletic courses. So we've got lots of options. Everybody's got to take one PE class or one athletics course before you graduate high school. So you can do it in 9th grade, or you can wait till your senior year and take it. It does not matter. It's completely up to you. So here are the courses that can count for PE credit. So off-campus PE. This is an application you have to fill out, and it's due at central office by May 1st. This is a hyperlink you can click on, and it'll give you all the instructions you need. These are for competitive athletes who practice 15 hours outside of school. So let's say you're an ice skater and you're training to hopefully make it to the Junior Olympics. This would be a program for you. This is not for somebody who takes a swim class 1 or 2 nights a week. That's not this. This is high intensity, high time commitment sports outside of school. Functional fitness. This is one of our traditional PE courses. Functional fitness is a high intensity cardio strength building class versus team sports is our other traditional PE class. Team sports is what I call PE light. It's more like we might play volleyball for a week. We might walk the track one day. We might do dodgeball one day. So it's more activity based versus functional fitness is more strength training and cardio. Next, we've got boys basketball. You need to already be on the boys basketball team at the middle school in order to sign up. It does take up 2 class periods. You'll see there are 2 course numbers. And what it is, that SH means it takes up a second class. So you're going to go every day to basketball. Girls basketball. You need to be either on the A team or the B team or have coach's permission if you're wanting to join the girls basketball team. It also takes up 2 class spots. We've got cross country and track for both boys and girls. We've got 2 options. You can take cross country and track during the school day, and those are going to be these numbers up here. Or if you want to just practice before and after school, and you have to attend all the practices before and after school, you can also get credit for cross country and track. The kind of cool thing about that is that means you still get to have 8 other courses besides track and cross country. So this gives you like a bonus class. You can sign up to take football, which takes up 2 periods. We've got girls soccer, which takes up 2 periods. girls softball, which takes up 2 periods, and girls volleyball, which takes up 2 periods. I will say girls volleyball does do summer tryouts on July 29th. So there is a small chance if you sign up for it and you don't make the cut, you would have to have 2 other electives. And that's why on the choice sheet, there's an alternate section on the back where you would let us know what those courses would be. And there are some other notes here. Golf, swimming, water polo, cheerleading, tennis. You're going to have tryouts later. So you can't sign up for those courses right now. So you're going to pick 8 other courses. But what I recommend is circling one of these to let us know that you're planning on trying out. So that way we watch the tryout list so we can see if you made it or not. And so if you write cheerleading and make a note, switch out maybe pathways, college and career for cheerleading if I make the team. That way it lets us know. Boys baseball for freshmen is only after school. You can definitely still practice with the team outside of the school day, but you're going to need to contact the coach. Boys soccer, if you're interested, you're going to need to email the coach. I've included down here the athletic website where you can look up all the coaches and you can just send them an email to ask any questions you have. Down here, you'll see there's allowable PE substitutions. All of these other courses can count as PE for you. So marching band and color guard, that can count as PE. ROTC, dance, cheerlead, all of these count as PE or athletics. So just things to know. Let's flip it to the back of your choice sheet. So here are more classes you can take. So digital media. This is the first year course in a 4-year sequence. So digital media is where you're going to learn Photoshop and Adobe. So 2 software programs that are all about altering and editing photos, all 2D. Business management and administration. The first year course of that 4-year sequence is called Principles of Business, Marketing, and Finance. This class you get to learn about everything. So what I always picture is think of this Macomb School of Business at UT. There are so many different degrees you can get. Well, what this does is it gives you a sampling of all the different types. And I always tell a student, well, if you don't like the accounting section, guess what? It's going to be over with in a couple weeks and you're going to move on to a different area of business. So this is a great sampler class to get to learn about all the different areas of the business world. Debate. If you're somebody who likes to argue, back up your researchers. I always say if you're a student who always loves to be right, this might be a good class for you. We're going to teach you how to argue and win. We have an amazing debate program here at Westwood. A lot of students who might want to be a lawyer someday. This might be a really good class for you. Fashion design. Do you want to learn about fashion, learn how to sew, make patterns, and create things? This is going to be a really interesting hands-on class for you. The next one you'll see is finance. You'll notice it's the same course as the one in business management. Well, here's the thing. Because it intros to all the different business worlds, you really get to have your freshman year to decide what area of business do you like. And then at the end of freshman year, you can commit to business management, finance, and also down here, you'll see it's the same class for marketing. So you take it as a freshman and then you kind of commit to, okay, I liked business management. No, I liked the marketing section the best. And then that's what you continue with for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. You'll also see the same thing down here. You'll see digital media for graphic design. It's the same class as animation because we need you to learn those softwares in 9th grade. And then after your freshman year, you can decide, okay, do I really want to go the 2D way and do graphic design? Or would I rather move into 3D and do animation? So it's just going to depend on what ends up interesting you. But the nice thing is you get all of freshman year to make that decision. If you want to work for our newspaper and yearbook, you're going to pick journalism. Video production. If you want to learn how to make videos, commercials, short films, this is our class. This is where we teach you all about film, the process of making it. We've got a green screen. We've got teleprompters. You learn how to do all those special effects. So this is a really neat course to take as well. Next is our ROTC program, which is called Aerospace Science. First thing I always want to say is you do not have to join the military for this course. There is no commitment. This is for somebody who's interested in finding a small community within Westwood. Westwood can be overwhelming. It's a very large school of 2,800 students, but the ROTC has their own building, and it makes kind of like a tiny school within a big school. The ROTC program is wonderful. Not only does it teach you about aerospace science and the history of flight, but they have all these clubs built in to it. So if you're interested in building rockets, they have a rocketry club. If you want to learn how to fly, eventually by senior year, you could be working on your pilot's license within the class. They have a flight simulator machine. We also have a rifle range, so we learn how to safely use rifles and shoot within the classroom. They also have different like challenges and different teams like academic goals and physical fitness goals, but you get to pick of all of that stuff I've talked about, the ones you're interested in, and just do that. The other great thing about the ROTC program is there's lots of leadership and community service built in. And when you're thinking about a college resume someday, colleges want to see leadership and they want to see volunteer work. ROTC builds all of that into their program. So you can pretty much build your college resume by taking one class every year within our ROTC program. So it's a really neat option. And it can count as your P credit, even though you do very little physical activity. So that's kind of a neat perk too. Next are all our classes under our STEM umbrella. So we've got 2 computer science classes you can choose from for your freshman year. Computer Science 1 is for somebody who has never done coding before and they want to learn. It's a great entry-level course. Principles of Computer Science AP is for somebody who already has experience with coding. So you're going to move at a faster pace, you're going to cover more languages in depth, and there's the potential at the end of the year to take an AP test and earn college credit. I do recommend you have some experience, and that could be maybe going to Code Ninjas, or maybe you've watched a lot of YouTube videos and taught yourself Python, or maybe your parent does coding for a living and they've been working with stuff on you. Or maybe you've taken a middle school computer science class. I would then go the Principles of Computer Science AP route. Cybersecurity. Are you interested in hacking? Cybersecurity would be the class for you. The freshman year is the same, the Principles of Computer Science AP, and then it moves into cybersecurity specific courses in 10th grade. Engineering. If you like to take things apart, see how they work, put them back together, this might be a really good class for you. They do 3D printing and all different types of hands-on activities and learning CAD. It's a really good class to take. And next we have robotics. This is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to build robots, compete in competitions, battle, robotics is the course for you. Next, we have 2 medical courses. We've got biomedical and health science. The way I remember the difference is that within biomedical, you have the word medical. That stands for medical school. Biomed is prepping you for medical school. So if you want to be a doctor, a surgeon, do cancer research, biomedical is what you're going to want to do. Do lots of labs, and by senior year, you're working with live cancer cells. Health science is if maybe you want to go into another profession in the health world. So nursing, pharmacy, this is going to be the class for you. You do wound care, you do CPR, and by senior year, you can get a internship at a pharmacy and work on your pharmacy tech certification. So it just depends on what you're wanting to do with a medical related field. Next are all our classes that count as fine arts. Everybody, just like PE, must have 1 fine art credit before you graduate high school. It's a non-negotiable. Again, you can take it in 9th grade or wait till senior year. It does not matter. So your options. You've got Art 1. This is traditional art, painting, drawing, ceramics, sculpture, a little of everything. It's an intro level course. Art 1, art and media. This is for somebody who loves computers. You'll do half of your art on an iPad, half of the art will be studio. Sometimes you might make something on the computer, print it out, and then make it 3D with actual art supplies. If you've taken Art 1 for high school credit while you were here in middle school, you've technically met your fine art requirement and you don't have to take any more. However, if you're like, I love art and I have Art 1 for high school credit, you may take Drawing 1, Ceramics 1, Sculpture 1, or Painting 1. And you can take multiple or you can just take one. It's your choice. But the only people who can sign up for those Art 2s are students who took Art 1 for high school credit in middle school. Next, we have our dance courses. Principles of Dance is our intro to dance class. You will see this note over here. Every dance class you can take Not only do we give you a full fine art credit, we give you a full PE credit. It only takes up one class period, but we give you 2 credits. So this is a really good bang for your buck for fine art and PE. Principles of Dance 1, you don't need to know anything. Principles of Dance 1 Advanced means you've already taken dance classes or have dance experience. So maybe you've been taking dance classes in middle school or outside in the private sector. Principles of Dance Color Guard. This one actually takes up 2 spots, and it's because it's part of our band program. These are the students with the band who have the big flags that twirl and dance out on the football field with our band. They meet every day. Dance Wellness 1, Movement for Athletes. Okay, this is a unique course. The only students who can take this class are students who are in athletics, so they're playing on a sports team at Westwood. This class was designed by our coaches and our dance teacher. This is yoga and Pilates. It's not a traditional dance class. This class typically has more boys than girls. This was designed because so many freshman athletes would get injured, maybe weren't as fast, and didn't have the strength as the upperclassmen. So this class is all about building up your core muscles, which makes it less, and giving you more flexibility, which makes you usually less likely to get injured when you're playing, or it makes you faster because your core muscles are stronger. So you'll see lots of football, soccer, basketball, volleyball players in this class. Jazz 1. This is like a private dance class you'd be paying for outside of school. You get for free during the school day. Modern dance, same as well. So this is just 2 different styles of dance. Again, it takes up 1 class, but you get your fine art and your PE credit. Concert band. So this is if you want to play in the band next year. It takes up 2 spots. So it will take up 2 of your 4 class periods. So something to think about. Everybody will pick this one, and then you will audition at the end of the year, and you might get moved up to a higher band, but we will automatically adjust your band level for you if you make a higher band. Next is Camerata Orchestra. So this is if you're in the orchestra at the middle school and you want to continue at high school. Again, Camerata Orchestra. If you try out at the end of this year, audition, you make a high orchestra, we will automatically move you to it. Beginning orchestra. This is unique. This is for the student who doesn't know how to play an instrument but wants to learn. So maybe when you were picking electives when you were coming into middle school, you didn't pick band or orchestra, and now you see maybe all your friends are in those and you wish you had done it. Well, this is your chance. We will teach you in 1 year intensively how to play an instrument. And then at the end of freshman year, you can go into band or orchestra. So we get you caught up. Then we have treble choir. These are for students who have an alto or soprano voice. Concert tenor bass choir. These are for our lower voices. So our basses, our tenors. Then we have 2 piano classes. Piano 1 means you don't know how to play and we're going to teach you. Piano 1 Advanced means you've been taking piano lessons your whole life and we're going to let you practice during the day and we're going to push you to grow. Then we have 4 theater classes. Theater 1. This is going to be our fun entry-level theater class that's meant to get you to push you out of your limits by doing acting games and all different types of fun stuff. But you won't have to be up on the stage in front of the whole school. Versus Theater Production 1 Acting. This is the class for students who have been taking middle school theater. These are for students who actually want to do acting and be up on the stage, be in shows and performances. So that's going to be the one that's really designed more for acting. Theater Arts 1 is going to be just more to have some fun. Tech Theater. These are for students who don't want to be up on the stage, but want to be behind the scenes. This is like our shop class. We've got power tools and all of that, and you're going to be building our sets, painting them, but everything is going to be behind the scenes. Musical theater. This is for our triple threats, our singers, our dancers, our actors. This you get to do it all. So that's going to be a really fun option as well. Remember, you have to take 1 fine art before you graduate high school. The next thing I want to cover is January 31st. From 6 to 8:30, this is for all students and parents. All of our activities on our campus, all the classes that I've just covered, there will be a booth that you can walk around, ask questions, and learn all about them and see a demonstration from that class so you can really narrow down which classes you want to take when you're at Westwood next year. You also should have gotten a postcard in the mail in December talking about when your one-on-one conference will be. This will be when you can come and talk to your high school counselor and do your final course selection. So depending on what middle school you're at will depend on when your appointment is. The last thing is the week before school starts, we have fishbowl. This is where we have our big club fair where your student will come. They can sign up for any club they want to join. We have a big pep rally and a dance, feed you. It's a fun way to start off the school year and meet students from the other schools. So make sure when you're planning your summer vacations, do not do it the week before school starts because there will be multiple activities that week you will not want to miss.